something ratchet one time?
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it an FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities and never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out, step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here, watch out, touchdown. Pulling plans out the clutch, everybody getting crushed. The cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my. Yeah.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field that Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fuck with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG to keep.
got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, Bitcoin with the push to the downside, guys. We have lost some pretty key levels of support. Are we ready for a much, much bigger pullback, or are we going to get a bounce from where we're at right now? We're going to break it down on tonight's live stream, guys. Not only did we lose a key level of support, but we also have some potentially bearish signs on the higher time frames for Market Cipher B. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not necessarily. Shout out to Crypto Papayas. Shout out to you, bro. He said, Frankie, is this the bear market? I know you're just joking, but we're going to take a look at the higher time frames, guys, because we're going to compare this to the previous high in 2021. I'm not saying this is the high. I'm not saying this is the bear market incoming, but are we ready for a much, much bigger pullback here, guys? I want to talk about some of those lower levels as we are now below our macro value area high. However, we are coming into the key level of support that we've been looking at on last night's live stream, looking at the 4-hour money flow, understanding the trend would continue likely to the downside, and we did come up, put a lower high in, and another lower low into our key level of support. So we're going to talk about it. The short is slapping, and I did just take a little scalp long, guys, but I want to talk about kind of why I don't have super, super high hopes for it. So hopefully I can put some people's minds at ease, and hopefully I don't scare too many people, because we're going to talk about some lower levels. Are we headed to 97 to 96K? Are we headed into the 80s? Shout out to Tony D dropping that poll in the chat, said, "What are we heading lower?" A lot of you guys, 41%. Say we're going back into the 90s. Are we going into the 90s, the 80s? What is going to happen here, guys? I'm going to break it down on tonight's live stream. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here and tuning in and hanging out with us here on this beautiful Friday evening. We're going to be doing some giveaways at the end of the stream as well, so stick around. If you're looking for some free crypto, we're going to give away some free Cardano. So shout out to the CandleMafia. We got Vegas Claw in the chat. Welcome in, bro. We got Jay Violet, cause I can bump it, or Koozie can, as I like to say. But I don't have my Koozie with my Aztec and Cactus Moss Water. I do have the CandleMafia coffee mug here with some black coffee in it, though. So shout out to Cuz I Can Bump It. We got Lucia in the chat. Said we are back. We're back. Where we started from the 20th of May so far. Yeah, shout out to Lusher. We're going to talk about that. We got Lewis in the chat. We got Abundance in the chat. Said, slow down. I'm from England, where we speak English. You're impossible to understand. Shout out to Abundance. I'm so sorry. I'll try to slow it down for you. We do talk a little bit fast here. I'm from New York, which might be the opposite of English. But shout out to you, bro. We got CJ in the chat. Shout out to Gibby. We got Gen Z in the chat. Said, ready for free crypto. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We got the whole mafia in the chat, guys. But let's go ahead. I don't want to waste too much time here because we got a lot to look at here on the chart. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, bring on 90K. Shout out to Givey. Let's go. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Said Frankie got that VTech. Yeah, sometimes we'll talk so fast we hit that VTech and it just keeps going. We just speed up. But yeah, let's go ahead. And shout out to Jesse, our like police guys. I almost forgot. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gets you guys closer to some more free crypto. If we hit 750 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll give away 3 Frankie Candles hats. I don't know what color they'll be, but this one is the black and white speckled Richardson 112 Frankie Candles hat, guaranteed to increase your win rate. So let's go ahead and jump on in here, guys. Let's see. No more Bitcoin conferences, please. Shout out to Ryan. Yeah, we did get the conference dump here, but let's go ahead and break this down, guys. Now, as you know, we have been looking at our macro value area here, and we are unfortunately stuck underneath this value area high, guys, which is just generally a bearish sign in general here. I forgot to turn my ink back to white here, so I'll just keep it blue. But you guys can see we are now back below our macro value area high. This is a little bit of a sketchy area to be in because, as we all know, if we are going to get accepted back into this larger range, it does technically open up the door to come back down to about $96,000 to $97,000. Once you get below that value area high, you are going to be looking for prices next. You are looking for price to very likely continue through that volume profile. That POC would be the next likely target. However, guys, we do have some support down here. We have some liquidity sitting below, which we could potentially come down and sweep. I'm going to talk about that situation. But first off, I want to cover the higher time frame, starting here with that value area high. Stuck underneath it. Generally a bearish sign. Does not mean that we cannot ever get out of here, but it is just generally a little bit of a sketchy situation because we do not want to get stuck under this level, guys, because very likely we will see more downside. This would not necessarily make me think that the bear market is in, and I'm going to talk about today specifically. I want to cover some of those much lower levels. even potentially below $97,000. But if we come on over, I'm going to start here on the weekly time frame, guys. We do obviously have our weekly VWAP continuing to the downside here, and money flow. Technically, depending on when we get this red dot on the weekly, this money flow could potentially just end up putting in a little bit of a lower high. And this is going to be something I am watching very, very closely here. Let me actually change this ink so it's a little bit easier to see. Come on. There we go. I'll just change this back to white. But I'm going to be watching for this, guys, because if we are going to get a bigger, significant correction to the downside, potentially bringing us down to those lower levels that I just mentioned, potentially down to 97K or even lower, that weekly red dot might be the thing to start the bigger dump to the downside. Money flow, potentially putting in that lower high. I don't really love the look of that. Now, also, as you can see here, we also do have a potential weekly bearish divergence printing here as well. Higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, and to add a little bit of insult to injury there, this is also happening outside of our value area, which is typically where we're looking for shorts. I am still holding my short position here on Bitcoin. Let me just go ahead and pull that up. As you guys know, this is the same trade that I was showing earlier. Let me actually just move this over because I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it. My big old face will be in the way. But there you go. Still holding this short position up about almost 4 Gs. Almost 4 Gs up on this short. Now, obviously, guys, I did take an entry here on a lower high. We also had the short set up from the tippy top in the premium Discord. I got stopped out at break even. Took a short here on that lower high situation that we had, and that is continuing to play out, guys. And we are also, obviously, looking at the chart here, we understood that 4-hour money flow, not only yesterday, but the day before, we were looking at this green dot printing on the 4-hour saying, hey, we could get a push to the upside, but with that money flow coming to the downside, the anticipation there is to put in a lower high before putting in a lower low and continuing our push down to our next key level of support, which we have come down and finally tapped. Well, we actually tapped to the top of that zone yesterday, and then we did come down to that final level, the end of that zone earlier today. And, nice to see that happen. We are continuing to hold the short here. So, if we do get the bigger drop to the downside, we will be holding that short from about $109,880. However, it's just beautiful, right? Because you could just use that money flow to anticipate what the continuation of that trend is going to look like. And it did wind up playing out here. If I pull up the, actually, before I bring this up, let's go over some of these other higher time frames. So just to kind of bring it up, weekly bearish divergence may be able to print here. I don't think it's going to happen this week. So there is, this is going to take a long time to develop here. But just keep in mind, higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves with that weekly bear div could potentially give us that bigger drop down, which is why I want to cover some of those lower levels with you guys. 6-day red dot also looking to print here. Obviously, the bear div is there as well. We also have the 5-day red dot looking to print. 4-day red dot is still printing here as well. So, we've even just been looking, other than the bearish divergences, we've been looking at these high time frame red dots on the higher dailies to potentially give us a little bit more of a correction to the downside, right? This is part of the reason why we were looking for shorts up here at the high and why we were holding it to anticipate a continuation down. Oh, man, these higher time frame red dots, I do think we could come a little bit lower here. I'll give you kind of like the last resort bullish case where these red dots don't bring us down here, guys, but we have to keep in mind these high time frame red dots oftentimes do give us some kind of a move. So that's kind of the higher time frame situation. Also coming on over to the monthly time frame, you guys can see monthly green dot is still printing. Obviously, we'll see what happens here. If we do get just an instant red dot, we will technically have another bearish divergence here on the monthly. As you guys know, last time we got the weekly and the monthly bear div here on Bitcoin. I was not that worried, right? Let me actually hide this TA really quickly. We talked about this in the premium live stream earlier today. And, last time we had the weekly bear div. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick, right? We had higher highs on the price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, but this was not necessarily making me like super giga bearish. We did think that it could give us the drop to the downside that we saw, potentially bringing us down to 85 to 75K. But overall, if you guys tuned in during this time, I was not in the camp that the bear market was here. We were actually looking for a higher low and a new higher high. We're hoping for a higher high, a higher high. But we did actually wind up seeing that play out. But I will say we do have another weekly bear div. This is looking a little bit nastier in my opinion. It is a little bit bigger. Angle is a little harder. And obviously the lower high here is pretty aggressive. And that VWAP is rolling down. So we might be able to see that print, which again does make me think that the continuation down could potentially be the case here. But I want to compare this. Before we go into the local levels, we do have some local support levels. I'll talk about those in just a minute. But I do just want to point this out, guys. Weekly bearish divergence. The reason why I really don't like this, other than the fact that it's just a little bit of a cleaner bearish divergence at this point, I was not worried at all about this. I did think we can get the drop down, but I was not worried about a bear market. And I'm not saying I am worried about a bear market right now, but I'm just saying, like, this is a bearish sign, right? Like just from a straight binary perspective, right? Like this is definitely a bearish sign, especially with that VWAP coming down. But the thing I really don't love about this is this weekly money flow, man. This weekly money flow starts rolling over. Things start to look a little bit scary, in my own personal opinion. And again, I'm not here to spread fear. I'm not saying the bear market is here, but this is something that we do have to keep an eye on, right? For all we know, if we get a bounce off some of the local levels that we look at today, you could come back up. This money flow could come back up, and maybe you don't even get the green dot or the red dot, right? So we'll have to see how that develops. But this is potentially on the way, so you have to be aware that it's there. So when it starts printing, and if you do get the bigger move to the downside, you're not completely shocked. You kind of save a little bit of that emotion by understanding, what might be in store here. But on top of that, guys, weekly bear div potential, I don't want to say monthly bear div just because, we don't even have a red dot. We're printing a green dot right now on the monthly. So, but weekly bearish divergence, high time frame red dots, and then our 2-day money flow also, which was crossing over into the green. This is now flopped back over into the red, which is, you could play around here a little bit with the money flow, but in general, technically, crossover back into the red, not the most bullish sign ever. And then you start kind of combining that with the idea that you do have the acceptance back into your value area, potentially losing that macro value area high. This is now a major, major key level to the upside that we must get above if we want a continuation up, guys. And like I said, I did take a scalp long here. I'll talk about that in a minute. But, on the way up, we have to be aware that that value area high is sitting here. And if we cannot get back above it, it does open the door to much bigger moves down. And with those higher time frame confirmations, this is definitely in the cards. Hopefully we can invalidate it, but we just have to go off the technical analysis. We have to go off what Market Cipher B is showing us, and that is kind of what it's saying, right? And then you start to look at this. You also do have the, higher highs on our price action here, lower highs on your momentum waves here on the 2-day. As we deviate above the volume profile, this is typically where we look for shorts. Hence why we have the short setups here from the tippy top and 109,880 in the premium Discord. Everybody says, how could you short all-time highs? This is a perfect example of why we are looking for potential shorts as we deviate above those volume profiles, guys. I don't care if it's a bull market, a bear market, because even if this is going to continue up in a huge way, you can obviously make a bunch of money here, up almost $4,000 on that short. So there's money everywhere on the chart, up and down in any kind of market. So yeah, if this does wind up being a big move down, we're short from the top, from the high. Not that I want that to happen, but we are covered to make some money on the way down. And if you're sitting there and you're like, how the heck is this guy making money on the way down? Subscribe to the channel, because we show you how to make money trading Bitcoin, whether the price is pumping or dumping. But as we look at that, I just want everyone to understand the general context here. Deviation above the high. We are now technically starting to crack that value area high. More of a bearish situation. High time frame red dots. That's the bearish case, right? Those are the bearish signals. And if we do get the bigger correction to the downside, let's break down the next key levels underneath us that might be able to give us some support. But if some of these levels are lost, guys, we might be able to get, something a little bit more aggressive coming in here, potentially targeting 96 to 97K, which wouldn't necessarily be a bear market, right? I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh my God, bear market, guys. Depending on what price action looks like down here, you might be able to get a strong bounce off that point of control. And then, there are even some lower levels here that I want to cover with you guys today. Not saying that we have to go there, not calling for these levels, but it's important to understand where the support is. So when you do come down there, you know that you're not going to be panicking at the lows and shorting at the lows, or maybe selling your spot bags at the lows. You want to understand where those are so you can be ready for the bounces like we were at the previous low at $75,000. So I'm going to start local here. We'll bring up the first levels, and then we'll bring up those lower levels as well. Now, number one, coming on down here, again, 4-hour money flow crossing into the red. I would say with the scalp long that I'm in right now, being very, very careful around this macro value area high, sitting at about $105,769. If we could get back above that level, flip these highs to support, that is where maybe we can get another push to the upside, guys. But you still have to be aware that with money flow coming out, if this 4-hour money flow does not start to come back up into the green, it could be in anticipation of lower highs and lower lows to come. But I would say like the first kind of sign that we could continue up here is you got to get above that value area high. 105,000, we'll call it 105,846. Very, 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 very key level. Probably the most important level if you want to move to the upside, in my own personal opinion. If we get above here and we continue up, we are simply going to look at this area of consolidation that we've been viewing through the lens of the local volume profile. Once we get above there, right, we could say, well, hey, if we hold support here, we might be able to come up to the value area low, flip that value area low to support, then we can look for the bigger move up towards the value area high of that local range. But again, we have to see what the money flow is going to do here on the 4-hour, because again, the other day we were looking at a bounce as we were pushing below the value area low, saying, hey, 4-hour green dot printing, but that money flow was coming out, making us anticipate lower highs and lower lows, and we did indeed put in that lower high. put in that lower high into the point of control, 786 golden pocket. If you're looking for lower highs and lower lows, where's that likely to come in at? Right between that golden pocket, 786. That's exactly where it came in. We held that short position, and it finally played out. And that was the kind of thought process was, hey, if we put a lower high and a lower low in here, that is what could push us down into our next key level of support. So I'm going to go over that really quickly with you guys. Obviously, we do have this zone here, but nope. Where is it? I'll have to redraw it here. We have the golden pocket, 786 Fibonacci retracement right here, sitting between the value area high / golden pocket down to the 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? And that was the thought process the other day on the stream. Hey, if we put in a lower high and a lower low, maybe we can crack this low and push into our key level of support. As of right now, we are holding the 786, right? So the thought process here is if we're going to continue, aggressive moves to the upside, we're going to continue the aggressive higher lows. This would be like the bullish case, come down. This would be a very, very nice place to at least get some kind of a bounce. But I'm going to, again, talk about why I'm not super amped up about this long position to continue up in a big way. Obviously has something to do with the money flow, but this is just our key level of support. We came down in here. We had some bullish confirmations. I'll be honest, I didn't really like the confirmations we saw down here. You do have some kind of bullish divergences down here, lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, but we had no local divs down here, to be quite honest. And on top of that, right, as we push down here, we had a 4-hour red dot printing. It's just, we're kind of fighting some bearish stuff here, and I just don't know if this is going to be the sauciest situation, and especially after everything we just went over on the higher time frames. I don't know how likely it is that this is going to be the bottom before a massive move up. Could it be? Maybe, right? But again, and if it is, hopefully our scalp long stays in play here. But again, with all the money flow, everything I just went over, and the fact that we're just generally below the value area high. We broke down, we couldn't get above, and we get the next move down. Not the confirmations I wanted to see for a massive move up, right? And especially with the money flow coming out, like it's just nothing's really confluent for a massive move to the upside. So if it does happen, it would kind of be a surprise to me. Again, we'll capitalize on that long position, but yeah, it's just not the prettiest setup in my own personal opinion. So that's kind of why I wanted to cover some of the lower levels today. And if we do break down below here, let's talk about what we have underneath us. We've talked about this many a times in the past here over the last couple of streams. We do have our previous area of consolidation down here between about 101K all the way up to the value area high at 105K. Here's your consolidation right here. We can use this previous value area as a potential guide to where price might go next. So let's assume, right, let's just make a pre-assumption here that we're going to lose that 786, get that off the chart. I am simply going to be looking down towards that scalp range value area, right? If we get sucked back into this value area, get stuck under the value area high, we've already bounced off the POC. If we lose that POC, we could look to go down towards the low. And our next real key level below this, guys, or not even below this, but below our 786 that we're sitting at right now, is the daily naked point of control, sitting right here at about $103,084. I don't even really know how saucy that level is, to be honest with you guys, because if you look here, we have all these lows here, which have a lot of liquidity sitting below, specifically below this low here at about 102K. We do have liquidity sitting here. I'll pull up the heat map here for just a second. Nope, that's not it. Bada boom, bada bing. And I'm going to have to change the time frame here. Let me come back over to the 2-week. Take a sip of that black coffee. Bada boom. Maybe I'll pull up the 1 month, actually. It might be a little bit clearer. Come on, Coin Glass. Do it. There we go. All right, so here we are. Here's the heat map. And you guys can see here, our next significant area of liquidity is sitting down here below this low at about $102,000, right? Now, if we pull up the chart here, that is below this low right here at about $102,000. And it makes sense, right? Anybody who is longing inside this range, their stop losses are going to go below. And it does give us a lot of liquidity here. So if we do come down, let's pull our fib here real quick from the range low all the way to the high. We do have the 786 confluence on that daily naked point of control. It's also somewhat close to the value area low. However, if we do come down there, I would say there's a possibility that we come take that liquidity. And if we do not get an SFP of these wicks, right? If we do not come down, sweep that liquidity for an aggressive pushback to the upside. And even if we do that, you have to understand you're still below macro resistance. But just understand there is a lot of liquidity sitting underneath here. So there is what do we know about liquidity, right? Liquidity acts as a magnet for price. And, if we continue down, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And we might want to go take out those liquidations. If we get down there, and we do not get support, right, or we don't sweep the lows, get an SFP, and a massive move to the upside or an aggressive push up, it could get ugly, guys. Now, the one thing I will be looking at here, we have this daily naked point of control sitting at $99,550, and this is going to kind of come in. This is coming in confluence with our Fibonacci retracement level. If we pull from the impulse to the high here, you can see we have a golden pocket with that daily naked point of control sitting just underneath. And I guess let me see if I pull this to the bottom of the range real quick. Yeah, actually, if you pull it from the bottom of the range, this is the lowest low that price made before we broke out. So this golden pocket, daily naked point of control, is confluent. This would really be that next saucy level of support, in my opinion, if we do come down and sweep these lows. At the end of the day, right, we're going to come down here in the Discord, right? We'll be looking for potential scalp trades down here as well on the local value area. Maybe we get a local SFP for a little scalp back to the upside. And then whether that turns into a bigger trade or not is another story. But at the end of the day, really the big next horizontal, physical, technical level of support really is not sitting until, really isn't here. Really doesn't come in until about 99,550 down to about 98,751, where we have the golden pocket, daily naked point of control. And one thing we can potentially look for there is if we sweep that last wick here. Where do we like to look for SFPs? We do like to look at those large wicks to the downside, as well as pairing that with the heat map, understanding where that liquidity is sitting. If we come down there and we start pushing below here, we start sweeping that liquidity. Once we stop out the longs here, when you get stopped out of a long position, it creates a market sell, giving you that fuel to the downside, and then we could start taking out this low. You might get an aggressive drop down as you're sweeping out that liquidity, and if we can sweep that last wick here, guys, we do have support down below. So this will be another big level to look at, in my opinion, and it is coming in, again, between about 99,554 all the way down to about 98,751. And to be quite honest, guys, like, could you bounce there? Yes. But if you just look at this from a higher time frame perspective, I'll even hide the local fib here. These are the next levels. $103,084 daily naked point of control. It's just not that beautiful, right? Because at that point, you're so close to that liquidity. So I would really prefer to see a sweep of liquidity down there. And unless we get a local setup, I would potentially be anticipating to come down here, take this low into, like, the next horizontal support sits all the way down here below $100,000. Now, the one nice thing about this SFP is that $100,000 psychological level might be a strong level to watch. Everybody's got their eye on 100K. Once they start losing 100K, they're going to start panicking. And, it would be kind of like, I don't know, I guess I would say textbook to sweep out 100K. Oh my God, we're losing 100K. Get a massive swing failure pattern, close that candle above the high, and then maybe you could get that big push to the upside. And it would make sense, guys, because if you did get that, you have your Fibonacci retracement. And again, that is pulled from the low of this range all the way to the high. This is an area where you could potentially look for a higher low to come back up and break structure to the upside once again into higher prices. The problem here, guys, and I hate to be the guy, but the problem there is that as a volume profile trader, I cannot ignore the fact that if we get back down into this range, the highest probability situation, in my opinion, now, unless we're going to continue the aggressive uptrend, at some point, guys, we're not going to rotate this range again, right? We got the full push to the upside, full push to the downside, full push to the upside, full push to the downside. We broke down, pushed back in, full rotation to the high. Eventually, we're not going to respect that range, and eventually we're either going to break down in a huge way, or you're just going to hold support here and break back out of it, right? But from a very basic standpoint, when looking at the volume profiles, I just hate the fact that we're below this value area high, right? Because even if you come down here, you get the bounce. At that point, right, you're below so much strong resistance, especially the value area high. And, once you get down here, it's very rare that once you get accepted into the range that you just, like, barely front run the POC. If anything, maybe you get the bounce off the POC, because once you lose that value area high, the next likely place for price to go is that point of control. That point of control acts as a magnet for price. We looked at that on the way up. We got accepted back into the range. Next likely place for price to go was that point of control. Shout out to anybody who watched that anchored VWAP tutorial. I talked about exactly how we were able to predict that, but it's the same thing on the way down. Once you get above the low, next likely place for price to go, POC. Once you get below the high, next likely place for price to go is the POC. But we have these local levels that we have an opportunity to put bounces in on and potentially break back out. But we have to assess the situation as price action develops. And by looking at those higher time frames, by looking at that weekly bearish divergence, by looking at the money flow, not only on the 2-day coming back into the red, but also this 3-day money flow is also looking kind of nasty, right? This 3-day money flow is still generally trending to the downside. If that 3-day money flow crosses into the red, The idea there is the continuation to the downside will continue, right? And on a 3-day, that continuation down could get pretty aggressive. So biggest key level, other than the local level, that we just talked about down here, potentially coming into the scalp range. Maybe we sweep the lows into the golden pocket daily naked point of control. But if we just take all that off the chart real quick, I want to talk about some lower levels. So again, first major level, 99,500 down to about 98,784. We lose that. Once you lose the golden pocket, next likely place for price to go is the 786. That is confluent with the POC of the range. That is at about 96,800. That's the $96,000 to $97,000 zone we've been talking about. And again, we'll check in a million times before that actually happens, very likely, unless it happens like end the stream and it happens instantly, which I'm not expecting. But that would just be the next anticipated price, right? $97,000 to $96,000 between the POC and the 786 Fibonacci retracement. So that is going to be macro support number 2, right? And now I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, guys. I don't want to do it. I'm going to have to do it. If we break down below the POC, guys, we have to entertain the fact that we could potentially see lower prices. And if we lose that POC, the next major level, I'll be honest, the one that I would be most interested in would be the value area low. I'm not saying that we have to go back down to 91K, but it is definitely in the cards here. The volume profiles very rarely lie. And I know, right, on the way to the downside, it seemed crazy to look to go back up here. Everyone, it was very scary. A lot of people thought it was the bear market. But we knew once we flipped that value area low, we would likely see the full fill of the range. And even on the way up there, guys, it gets very confusing and very scary. Okay, cool. We hit the POC. Oh, my God. No, it's going back down to 0. It's a lower high. And what happens? You eventually get above the POC, and you go right into that value area high. The most high probability trading tool you could possibly use is the volume profiles. Now, if we lose that POC, obviously the general thought process is that we will come down towards that value area low. We do have a daily naked point of control at 94,383. I'm going to take that off the chart because I want to keep things a little bit more simple here. There's 3 major levels I'm looking at. Number 1, 99.5 to 98.7. Lose that, looking down to 96 to 97K. Once we lose that, I am simply going to be looking down towards the value area low. Daily naked point of control, value area low, and do I have it up here? I might have it up here. Bada boom, that's not it. Do I have the fib pulled? I might not have the fib pulled. Do I have the fib pulled? This is a fib, close to what I'm looking at. Bada boom. Okay, so these fibs are a little bit different, right? If you pull it to the first higher low here, and the reason I would pull it from this higher low is because this was the higher low that we made before finally kind of getting the impulse out here to break the highs. Golden pocket is also confluent with this level, right? And this is going to be a zone, right? It's, again, the daily naked point of control, golden pocket, value area low. This sits between about 91,350 and $90,000. Now, again, I'm not saying Bitcoin has to go to 90K. I'm not saying that. But we have to be aware of this, and these are the major zones of support that I will be looking at. I'll even clean up some of these daily naked points of controls. I'll get rid of the SFP level. If we're not going to hold where we are now, and we're not going to hold this value area low, these are the biggest levels of support that I'm going to be watching. Lowest I'm willing to look as of right now is going to be about $91,000, or I'm sorry, $90,000 towards that bottom of that golden pocket. If we deviate below there, there's some other support down below that we can look at. But again, we don't know what the price action is going to look like down there, guys. Like, we might come down there and it looks like garbage, and I won't even care about the local support down here. I'll just be looking lower. But this is, for the most part, POC and value area low are just generally, once you lose the value area high, the levels you're going to be watching. POC, value area low. I prefer the value area low if we lose the POC because, again, I did mention that we have the daily naked point of control sitting right here at 94,383, but there's no real confluence on this level, if I'm being honest, right? There's really just the daily MPOC. I don't think there's really anything there. Yeah. But down here, this is a bigger, why am I more interested in this level, right? The answer is there's more confluence. Golden pocket, daily MPOC, and the value area low. You have multiple levels in that one spot, giving you a high probability reaction, or a level that has a high probability of giving you a reaction. So are we headed down to $90,000? The only reason I'm willing to entertain these levels, guys, is because when you look at those higher time frames with the weekly bearish divergence, it could be something that we see. And you might ask yourself, well, Frankie, does that mean that the bull market is over and we're just going to go down from here? I don't think so, right? I generally don't fall in that kind of camp. It's too soon to tell. I talked to the Premium Discord about this. In 2021, when we were looking at the all-time high, I did not know, right? It's not like once we hit 69K, I was like, that's it. It's the top, right? Because it's like there's not a lot to say. There's not a lot to look at to say that's the top, right? Sure, we had a daily bearish divergence. Sure, we were starting to print a weekly bearish divergence, right? But it really wasn't until we got the drop to the downside and we started kind of ranging around up here where we had better information. At that point, you look back and you say, well, hey, weekly bearish divergence. We also had a monthly bearish divergence, right? And then we also had the weekly money flow about to cross over into the red, and we had the weekly blood diamond, the first weekly blood diamond. I don't have it on here right now. The first weekly blood diamond ever. This is a much better, easier time to say like, hey, yikes, this could be the bear market. Hold on. And we said that, and we got it, right? But it's very hard to say, like, oh, that's it. That's the all-time high. And again, I don't want to talk too much about the bear market. We've literally pulled back. Like, what was this pullback? From the all-time high down here, about 7%, right? Like, there's nothing about the dump that's making me think the bear market is here, but I just don't really love that weekly bearish divergence. And to be quite honest, I am going to be looking at this as of right now as a much bigger pullback if we do get it, right? You could continue up from that golden pocket. You could continue up towards that from that POC. And if I pull up a blank chart here, if we just look at this from a Fibonacci perspective, let's just say pull it from the low up to the high. Technically, $88,774 is your golden pocket retracement. Technically, you could come on down there and still continue to the upside, right? So it's not enough. Like some people were asking about in the Discord, like, is it the bear market? Nothing that up here would say that to me, right? I would have to wait for more information to develop to kind of give a better answer on that. But can't forget about that weekly money flow. But in my opinion, I do think if we continue down, these corrections could potentially get very scary, right? And maybe we bounce off some of those levels. But I wanted you guys to have these on your chart. Number one, I'll drop these 99,437 to 98,784. We lose that, 96 to 97K. We lose that. We will simply use the volume profile as our guide to find that next confluent area of support beautifully on the value area low. And who knows? Maybe we get the drop down, and then we could get another long position there, and we'll get the big move up. Very, very hard to call this that far ahead of time, but these are the big levels to be looking at. And again, we will talk probably 55 other times before we even have to come down to those levels, if it even happens. So right now, hopefully, right, again, looking at the money flow, I don't know how high probability it is that we just yeet on out of here. But, and the fact that we lost that value area high, definitely bearish looking, in my opinion, but it doesn't mean bearish for bear market, right? We could get, I just want you guys to be aware, because if we start coming down to 90, if we even come down to 99K, a lot of people would be like, 100K is lost, bear market, which, hey, could they be right in the end? Maybe. Just like the people who called the bear market here, could they have been right? Maybe, but that's not what the charts are saying, right? And what happened? The charts wound up being right. So I just want you guys to be aware of this. Definitely have made, these are the major support levels down below. And one more not honorable mention. At the end of the day, I don't want to even really bring this up. But, not that I would want to come back down here, but if you pull your full fib from the low to the high, your monthly level of support here, this is the only higher time frame support level that we have, at least as of right now, because the monthly candle hasn't confirmed. We have a monthly down here at about 82.5. I would say losing that level would be much more bearish for new lows to come. But we're so far away from that, guys, right? Like we're literally 20% away from that, which could happen pretty fast. But we talked about this recently. You have to expect some kind of a bigger correction to come in, right? This was the cleanest uptrend ever. You got your low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, right? At some point, you do have to correct. It just kind of stinks that we're back inside this volume profile. Doesn't mean we can't break out, but you just have to be aware of the context here. So it's not like super crazy to think you can come back down to that value area low. But as we approach these levels, we will be assessing price, looking for confirmations, coming on these live streams, keeping you guys updated. If we're going to bounce here, we'll likely see signals for it. If we're going to bounce from here, we'll likely see signals. Here, we'll see the signals. We'll be able to assess that situation as it comes forward. So I just want you guys to have these levels on your chart in case things get super, super crazy. Understand where the key support is. And there you go. What do you guys think? Let me know. I already know 43% of you guys think we're going back into the 90s. So hopefully these levels aren't too shocking to you. But yeah, I would say still the line in the sand for me for things to go, back down to these bigger key levels is really start losing, I would say between 100, I would say lose this daily naked point of control. Your last resort is to SFP these lows. If not, we're probably coming down here, to be quite honest. But hopefully over the weekend or something, we could just get the bounce out here. But I would say the money flow is not pointing towards that. And being stuck back in the value area is not pointing towards that. So just be aware if we come down, it's not going to be that shocking. And if I do stop out of my scalp long position, my short position from up here, or almost from the top, from up here, will just continue to pay us out, right? So we're not, obviously the spot bags will suffer, but we're still making money if price dumps, baby. That's what the Candle Mafia does. So shout out to you guys. The 80s, yeah, shout out to Robert. And, even that, like I said, not super guaranteed out of the cards here, right? At the end of the day, you pull back down to that macro 786. That is sitting at about $82,000. $88,000 to 88.7 to 88.5 is the golden pocket from the low to the high. And again, we do have that monthly, the monthly sitting directly on that 786. Can I guarantee this comes in? Absolutely not. Who knows, right? We might never come back down there again. But I will just say, if we come down there, this will be a big level to hold. And, again, the market likes to scare people before going back up. And with all the institutions, they are liking those super, super manipulative moves. Oh, my God, bear market. Nah, all-time highs, right? And that's why we pay attention to the charts to anticipate what the highest probability is. Could this have been the bear market? Yes. Did I think that? No. Was I very open about that on the live stream? Absolutely. Could I have been wrong? I could have. And it's honestly kind of scary, right? And I'm sitting here I don't think it's the bear market, guys. I could have been wrong about that. But I'm very open about, I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. But again, when you come down into a key Fibonacci level with bullish divergences on higher time frames, money flow coming up, right? It is not necessarily the time to get super bearish. But again, if we do come down, we have the shorts from the top in the premium Discord, so we'll enjoy those gains on the way down while we cry for our spot bags. So shout out to the Candle Mafia. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Captain Kirk, said half of my spot bags are on life support, and I'm about to pull the plug. Shout out to Captain. Yeah, the spot bags, especially the altcoins, if you're heavily exposed to alts, it's been very, very, very brutal. But let me just check in on chat really quick. Shout out to Pose, said let's go, shorted yesterday. Let's go, baby. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations. Chenzi says, doesn't matter to me. Up, down, sideways, still poor. Shout out to Chenzi, bro. Let's see. Random shouting bear market started doesn't make it true. Absolutely. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You just want to remember. And I say this because I have fallen victim to this as well. They scream bear market here. They scream bear market here, right? And the only thing that was right was the charts. Oh my God, bear market. I don't think so. Not because I have some secret thing, right? Maybe we have a crystal ball or maybe we don't. But the charts are the truth, right? Doesn't matter what everybody screams. Honestly, more often than not, when people scream bear market, it's typically, especially if it's price is going down. If we're coming down here, people scream bear market. Chances are it's probably not the bear market. But the chart is the truth, and that's why we only pay attention to the TA. And if this was not a perfect example of that, coming up here every day, staying on team bull market for new all-time highs to come, even though it was lackluster, we did get that to play out, right? And it's because of the charts. It's because of the TA we teach here every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's see here. What about Solana? Shout out to the Pumpa. We're going to take a look at Solana in just a second. They want lower prices so they can bring it to 165K BTC Ultimate Top. Yeah, shout out to Candle Mafia's John Cena. Yeah, could be, right? And that I was talking earlier today to the premium Discord. I do think it's probably the game that Trump is playing, right? He's just trying to cause pain. Eventually, guys, and again, if this didn't show you how fast things can change, super, super bearish, all of a sudden, oh my God, super bullish, right? Things change fast in crypto, and, if we get QE to come in, things can get moving to the upside very, very quickly. And in order for, if Trump's trying to force the Fed to lower rates, or start QE, they sometimes have to cause pain, right? And real quick, if we take a look at the SPY, I do want to check in on this real quick as well, because obviously, if the SPY or if the stock market is going to hold up, Bitcoin will likely follow. Right now, the SPY still sitting above its value area low. We haven't even gotten the fill of this range, and at the end of the day, this was something we were looking at as we were coming back up, saying, hey, if the SPY can get back above this value area low, that would be good for Bitcoin, right? And we have come down and still held this value area low as support. Right, so we'll have to see what happens. If we start losing this value area low in the SPY, that's probably Bitcoin getting the bigger correction down into the 80s or the 90s. So yeah. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to J Digital in the chat. Shout out JV. Let's go. Shout out to Junior Varsity, or J Violet, as some people like to say. Shout out to Cupcake Crypto, looking bearish. Yeah, that weekly bear div has not looked very good. Again, doesn't mean bear market necessarily. But yeah, I would say Yeah, I mean, there's a reason we took shorts at the highs, right? There's a reason why we were willing to short. I mean, I did short all-time highs, stopped out in profit, but there's reasons why we're looking to short up here, right? Other than the fact that not only can you make the money on the way down, but like you're above the value area, right? You're above the value area high. This is where you want to look for shorts, just like every other time we deviated above it. Deviate above, this is where you want to look for shorts. Back down, back to the value area low. This is where you look for longs. Back to the high. Back above is where you look for shorts. We shorted up here as well, shorted about $102,000. And then you get the big move to the downside, right? Then you deviate below the low, get the move back in, back to the high. The volume profiles are always going to be the cleanest thing to look at, in my own personal opinion. Let's see. Ready to go 30x long if we hit 100K. Shout out to Eugene. Hopefully we bounce there. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, I had dinner with Golden last night, Frankie Candles, and you didn't. Shout out to Dave Digital. Is that true? Is that a real thing? Shout out to Dave Digital. I have met Golden many times digitally via video chat. I've never gotten to shake his real hand. Dave, if you shook his hand, is it made of solid gold? Let me know. Or is it just a ledger with a bazillion Bitcoin on it? Let me know. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yo, Vegas Claw, bro. Vegas Claw killing me with the Drake memes here. Frankie's the type of... let me read this real quick. Vegas Claw says, Frankie's the type of guy to lock himself to lock himself in the trunk to make sure the emergency trunk release works. How did you know I spent 2 weeks in the trunk? I had to eat my own clothing to stay alive. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Let's see. Did he make it rain? Shout out to Dremmer. Was he making it rain memberships, Dave? Let me know. Do I collect Pokemon cards? Shout out to Presidential Clouds. I do not collect Pokemon cards, but I'll tell you who does. Tony D. He's like a Pokemon savant. Let's see. Shout out to Gen Z said, Dave, my profile picture is inspired by you. I was wondering that. Shout out to Gen Z. I love it. I love the Frankie Candles Richardson 112 hat profile pictures. Let's go. We got a few of them now. I love it. Shout out to Eddie Parker. Welcome in, bro. He says, hey, Frankie. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. But let's continue on here, guys. We do have we do have a let's take a look at some of the altcoins, right? So these are the biggest key levels that I'm looking at on Bitcoin. If you just tuned in, scrub to the beginning of the stream, and it'll cover everything that you need to know if we do get the bigger drop to the downside. Excuse me. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the altcoins here, guys. And we'll keep an eye. Let me set some alerts here on Bitcoin. Let's see here. Let's drop this alert right up below these lows in case we break that. We'll drop it above the high as well in case we break the high. Bada boom. All right, so now we'll get alerted if anything crazy happens on Bitcoin. But let's jump on down to Ethereum, which is hilarious because we had covered a lot of these lower levels on ETH, and Bitcoin as well, way before we started getting drops. Right now, obviously, Ethereum, nothing crazy has happened just yet. We're still within this consolidation, but we did get a little SFP of the highs here. We front ran that daily. We're starting to get a little bit of a pullback. Support does remain the same on Ethereum as what we've been looking at, but if we are going to get the bigger drop to the downside, I will just say local levels of support, value anchored VWAP at 24.44. Lose that, looking down to the POC at about 23.23. Lose that POC, looking back down towards the value area low, golden pocket confluence, sitting between $2,150 and $2,100 between the golden pocket and the value area low of the range. I've compared this many a times to back here. You get back into the range, you flip the value area low to support, you break above the POC, or even here, right? You flip above the value area low, push into the POC, you play around with it, you get the correction back down to the value area low, but at the end of the day, you did stay within the range and you filled it in full. That could be something that we look at, right? If we do get the bigger correction, you get the move down, you lose the anchored VWAP, you lose the POC, retest the value area low. As long as you stay above that value area low, you could continue the bigger move to the upside. Now, and that is really the biggest level as of right now. If we lose that value area low, I will be looking down towards the previous volume profile with our value area high /786 of that same fib pull up here, sitting between, and I'll move this blue box up a little bit, value area high 786. Golden pocket, this is a deeper golden pocket. This is the macro golden pocket pulled from the absolute low to the absolute high here of this entire move to the upside. Golden pocket, value area high sitting between 2,018.68. So if we come down, we lose the POC. We're hoping, hey, we'll have to assess the situation as we come in here. Could get a bounce off that golden pocket value area low. If we lose that level, I will be looking down to that next zone sitting right down here. I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to lose that golden pocket. I'd be okay with a little wick down below it, right? But I'd really like to stay above this consolidation. I'd like to stay above the golden pocket. Technically, if you lose it, POC is very likely next, right? Sitting at 16.27. You do have your 786 retracement there. If I just hide all the TA here really quick, you guys can see. Bada boom. Bada bing. Right? This is your full 786 retracement from the low to the high. Golden pocket, 786. Technically, can you bounce off the 786? Yes. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though, right? We have a bunch of support below us right now. So hopefully we can bounce off the value area low. I mean, hopefully we never come down there. But if we lose the POC, that's a big level to watch. If we're going, this is in the case that we get the bigger correction to the downside. Value area low is key. Below that, value area high, golden pocket is the next key level. Lose that. At that point, I'm not a big fan of that, only because not only are you losing your macro value area low from the larger range above. Oh, boy. Oh, Bitcoin breaking down, baby. But once we lose that, right, you're getting rejected out of your range slightly. But once you wind up breaking down in here and you start losing that golden pocket that sits right here, at that point, right, you're like accepted into your lower range, and it just gets more likely to come down towards that POC. And then you also have to entertain the fact that the laws of the volume profile state, get accepted back into your range. POC is next. Lose the POC, go to the value area low. Very likely to see that full fill of the range. And that would be putting a new low in on Ethereum at that value area low, sitting at about $1,300. So, yeah, we just have to approach. It's a level-to-level game, right? If we get bullish confirmations here, we could say, hey, money flow's coming back up. The one thing that I don't hate here, other than the fact that, we do have daily bearish divergences here with a sweep of liquidity at the high, I do think we could potentially come down. But when you look at the 2-day, this money flow technically is still coming to the upside, right? So, maybe we do get the correction. Money flow comes out a little bit more. But, you just got to be aware of all the supports down below. We really have to see what happens. I would not be surprised. Fresh red dot printing on the daily could get the bigger correction, but it's important to understand where these levels are so you're not panicking at the exact wrong time, right? It's not really until we lose this 786 that I'm really much more bearish. So there we go. Liquidity. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's see. Can I get my membership back? Shout out to Vegas Claw. I wish we could just grant people memberships directly. That'd be sick. Let's see. Shout out to Base Bailey, said, Frankie, how cooked is the upside on a 1 to 10? Shout out to Base Bailey. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we did just get a massive move up on a lot of stuff, right? You have to anticipate bigger corrections. I mean, I'll tell you what. We get that 3-day money flow crossover into the red, or on Bitcoin, rather. 3-day money flow crossover into the red on Bitcoin. I'd be anticipating lower prices, right? Not necessarily bear market, but I would definitely be seeing a bigger correction coming in, which obviously we just covered. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the 2-day on Ethereum still doesn't look that bad. I'm not saying it's going to pump from here. At the end of the day, I do think we can come down. But again, it's all context, right? You don't just want to, does that mean that there's no all-time highs incoming ever and it's the bear market, we're never going to see alt season? No. Right? We get QE, this stuff is going to swap real quick, right? Even if we come down to some super sketchy levels. QE, things change very fast. And hopefully this shows you, right? Oh my God, Ethereum's dead. All of a sudden, boom, right? 100% pump in a short period of time, right? And we've already gotten 100% rip. So, these little corrections, right? Even if we come back down to the $2,100 value area low, it's a 24% correction. That's not unheard of, right? Especially if it's in confluence with your Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So these are just some of the bigger, if we get the bigger correction, these are some of the levels we're looking at. It's not necessarily the most bearish thing in the world. What goes up must come down, even if it's going to continue to the upside, right? If this money flow comes out a little bit, as long as it continues trending to the upside, could just put in higher lows to continue the trend up. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to 2K Crypto, said, good stream. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. It's giveaway day. Shout out to Jay Violet. Let's get it, baby. Liked. Shout out to Wisdom. I like that name, bro. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. If we get 750 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll give away 3 Frankie Candles hats. Increase your profitability with a simple Richardson 112 trucker hat. Let's see. All right. She's going to zero. Yay. Shout out to Perry. Let's go, baby. But Bitcoin is continuing down here. Short continued to pay out. I did take more profits on this short position, obviously. So, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. This is the beauty of being a trader. It's like it does not matter if price goes up or down. You could still make money here. Not too bad. So, yeah. We'll see if we can continue down there. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Base Bailey. Said I was expecting the 104 to 105 retest. I was unsure of lower. Yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning of the stream, right? Listen, we came down to our key support level that we looked at on the stream yesterday. Let me just pull it up real quick. I think I deleted it again. Right? I mean, we are technically in our support zone here. But if we lose that 786, I think you come lower, right? And again, like the confirmation up here, I was telling the premium Discord, there's not the most beautiful confirmations down here, right? It's not like we came into the key level, again, between the value area high and the 786. It's not like we came down here with like beautiful, beautiful long confirmations. I honestly don't really love the confirmations there. If I stop out of that scalp short, no big deal, because I'm already hedged with that big short position. But yeah, I don't love it, right? And that's why we're level-to-level traders. If we came down here and saw beautiful confirmations, I'd be like, well, hey, higher lows, potential higher highs incoming. But with the 4-hour money flow coming out, with the weekly red dot looking to print, all those bearish scenarios or bearish signals might not be the I don't know. I would not be surprised if we come lower. And that's why I wanted to cover some of these lower levels on Bitcoin for this live stream. All right, let's see. Fortnite Chill said 96K. Oh my God, hold me, Frankie. Shout out to Fortnite Chills. When the new era fitted, we're gonna get some new era Frankie Candles fitteds. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But yeah, so that's Ethereum. Let's go ahead and jump on into Solana real quick because we have been looking at some key levels here, as you guys know. On Solana, right, we look at the value area high being your key level of support. If you lose that, next likely place for price to go is the golden pocket. You lose that golden pocket, you're going to be looking down towards the level we've been watching forever. And I know I cover a lot of these levels like early, right? Like as we bing bong around up here. But there's a reason for that, right? Just like we looked at this golden pocket as we were bing bonging around up here saying, hey, if we can come back in there, could be a lower high or a higher low before coming back up and putting in a higher high. We were unable to get accepted into our upper range, which would have called for the move up to 216. We got rejected. Value area high becomes your key level of support. You lose that, you look to go to the golden pocket. If you lose this, we're still looking down to the same level of support, 153.77 to 150.92. Other than that, not really much of an update. If we come down there and we lose that, we'll be looking to come down towards the POC of the range at about $142. This is not impossible level to hit. And again, does that mean we're going to zero? Not necessarily, right? Everyone will be like, oh my God, bear market, right? Not necessarily. I will fight against that till the day I die. People get scared when price goes down, but you have to understand the context of the market. It's exactly what we did on Bitcoin at 75K. If it gets scary, and I think it's the bear market, right? The charts will likely show us that. And I will be honest, not that I'm saying it's the bear market. You gotta watch that weekly. You gotta watch that weekly, guys. That weekly bearish divergence. Ew. And honestly, the weekly money flow is really what I don't like. But there's time for that to change. So yeah, context is always gonna be king. Let's see. I'm not switching my hat. That sucker got me lucky the first day I had it. Shout out to Pennywise. Let's go. Is it a Frankie Candles hat? Let me know. We're still in the bull market. Yeah, shout out to Pakistan. Yeah, absolutely. Right? Like there's no doubt. Just like when we came down here, Bitcoin is unarguably in a bull market. Low, high, higher, low, higher, higher, low, higher, higher, low, higher, high. Right? Even when we came down here, why was I not thinking this is the bear market? Simple market structure. We did not break key levels. We did not break key market structure. This was and not only that, you had the fib levels, which is a high probability area to put in a higher low before a higher high. So just be prepared. If we get a pullback, not necessarily mean it's the bear market instantly, right? So there we go. Let's see. Nerd Crypto said, love that hat. Shout out to Nerd Crypto. Let's go. Let's go. You guys can get these at FrankieCandlesTrading.com in many different colors. And if you don't want to buy it, stick around till the end of the stream because if we hit 750 likes, smash that like button. We will be giving away some at the end of the stream. Okay, so let's continue on. All right, let's take a look. We took a look at Solana. We took a look at Bitcoin. We took a look at Ethereum. And I'll do a quick check-in on XRP. Oh, man, baby. Well, we all know what this means. What does this mean, Mafia? Let me know. This was your last key level. Daily naked point of control 786. You lose this level, you're going to be looking down to where? Value area low, sitting at 205. That was your last chance to put in a higher low. At this point, I would be expecting the value area low. Doesn't mean it's the bear market, right? But at this point, and again, like, what did we look at on XRP? The reason we did not like this was the fact that we rejected and are approaching the POC from the value area high. If you cannot reclaim the POC, the next likely place for price to go is the value area low. There was a chance to bounce off that daily MPOC, but we didn't, right? And that's your last chance. At this point, I would be expecting the $2.05 value area low. It's kind of all we got. 3-day money flow crossing over, looking to cross over into the red as well. Could get a little ugly. Could get a little ugly down to that value area low. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much just in a massive trend. Massive range, not trend. The opposite of a trend. There we go. Shout out to MK Crypto said value area low. Cricket Crypto said value area low. Crypto Owl said area low, but I know what he meant. Shout out to you, brother. Let's go. You guys know. You guys know. Shout out to Crypto Paisa says, come in, guys. Smash that like button. I need a hat. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Abazi says, new to Frankie Candles. Welcome in, bro. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell if you want the saucy TA and you want to learn how to make money trading crypto, whether price goes up or down. Let's go. XRP rockets, then becomes a stable coin. Shout out to Gen Z. Literally, that is XRP's, yeah, that is, oh, stopped out of the scalp long. Oh, man. Well, the short continues to pay. Let's see. Sat Shepard said, I have no open trades right now. That is totally fine. I think a lot of people forget that long and short is not the only option. Sometimes the best trade is no trade if you're not getting in at a, if you don't have a clean setup. It's okay to not be in a trade. There are plenty of times where I am not in a trade. If I was not short, right, because like I said, for this short position, right, my original setup here in the premium Discord, maybe I could pull that up just to kind of show you guys. My short setup from the premium Discord here, come on, was literally looking for very specific confirmations up here. Specifically, in this case, we were looking for bearish divergences with a swing failure pattern of the high into the key level of resistance. We have the confirmations. We sit and we wait for the level to get hit. We see if we get the confirmations. And I took that trade. And I actually came on here and showed you guys that I did get stopped out at break even, unfortunately. But we had the short from the high. Let me pull up Femex back up really quickly. Shout out to Femex. But I got stopped out at break even. I moved my stop loss too early. We came back down. We saw money flow coming out, indicating we might be able to get a lower high coming in at the 786. Golden pocket, 786 retracement. As we know, if you're looking for lower highs and lower lows, it is likely to come in between the golden pocket 786. We came up in there. We had bearish divergences. Other bearish confirmations that we were looking at. And I took my second entry here in anticipation of the lower low, which we talked about on this live stream, into our 105 to 103K level. 105K level or zone is kind of broken now. At this point, we would have to hope that you can hold the daily naked point of control. Like the next specific horizontal level that we have here is the daily naked point of control at $183,083. Come on down to a lower time frame. Come on. Daily MPOC, 103.84. Sitting right here. It's really the only other horizontal level that we have. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's getting scary. It's getting scary. Let's see. I'm sure we can get some more likes. Let's go. Shout out to Jay Violet. Smash that like button. All alts are on discount. Let's go. Asim says 183K. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yo, shout out to Abazi says, your energy is so bullish. Welcome in, bro. If you like the energy, stick around. And you might even get a membership from our boy Golden. Or maybe we'll drop them. If we hit 750 likes, we'll drop some memberships as well. We'll give away 3 hats, and we'll drop memberships. But shout out to Abazi. I appreciate you, bro. Big bounce and short squeeze incoming. I hope so. All right, let's continue on here. Took a look at XRP. Took a look at Solana. Took a look at Ethereum. Let's take a look at virtuals for our boy. I think Gen Z was looking for virtuals on the premium live stream, and I did not have time for it. I think or maybe it was, I forgot who was asking for it. But we will take a look at virtuals really quickly here. Clear support. We tried to get above the value area low, lost it, tried to get back above, held it as support. Next stop was the PLC. Value area low sitting at about $1.91 is going to be the next major key level of support, to be quite honest. Kind of a nice little channel here for being so we'll see. If you break down below that value area low, if you could reclaim, maybe you come back up. If you lose it decisively, I'd be looking down towards that daily naked point of control at about $1.36. And that would be the next technical horizontal level. Let me see if we have any other. Let's see here. No, those are all old levels. We can get rid of those. Could update that fib. Yeah, those are old levels. But yeah, I mean, value area low is your next key level of support, $1.91. Start breaking down below here. I mean, I'm not like I mean, if you just look at this as kind of like a parallel channel here, start breaking below that. If you can't get back in, I would look for the bigger breakdown towards, let's pull the fib from the low to the high here, or the higher low to the high. Whoops. Yeah, I would pull it from this impulse. Reason being, this is the impulse where we broke the first significant highs here. Golden Pocket Confluence, I would definitely, on that daily naked point of control, I would watch that. $1.36. If you can't hold up here, you lose that value area low, I'd be looking down there to about $1.36. Lose that, 786 at about $1.08. Again, 10-hour money flow crossover into the red. Weekly, we don't have any weekly information there. 3-day red dot printing, 4-day red dot looking to print. Yeah, might be ready for, as we've been talking about, right? Could be looking for the corrections. Again, doesn't mean bear market. We've had massive moves to the upside, right? Since April. Massive move up for virtuals. 527%. We could see bigger corrections come in here without flipping macro bearish. Let's keep that in mind. So there we go. Let's see. If AVAX reaches $10, that's a super long going in there. Shout out to Native. Maybe we'll take a look at we can take a look at AVAX. Let's see. Shout out to Jay Violet, said the chat's too fast for me. Mafia too quick, baby. Tony D banned. Ban him. Shout out to Tony D. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Ban Tony D. He's always causing trouble in the chat. Unbelievable. Let's see. What the heck is going on here? So much market manipulation. Oh, man. That is the disadvantage to having the institutions in the game. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Shout out to Eddie C. Let's go. Something tells me to load up some spot bags when we finish this pullback. 30K worth. Should do it. Shout out to DeFi DGen. Let's go. All right. Let's continue on here. So we took a look at, if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Rob, the crypto snob, will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Let's do like 2 or 3 alts. And then we do have to get into the giveaways. We will be giving away some Cardano at the end of the stream. And if we hit 750 likes, we will be giving away 3 Frankie Candles hats. Let's go, baby. This market is tough. Yeah, shout out to Base Bailey. I was saying this earlier today, the premium Discord. This is 100% the hardest bull market I've ever taken part of. And I've been in since 2016. 100% the show us the heat map. Shout out to Crypto Owl. Absolutely, bro. Next significant area of liquidity is going to be sitting down here at about $102,000, right? Could try to pull up the 2-3 month as well. Unicorn Fart does. Shout out to Rollins. The CME gap at 92.5. Yeah, I mean, not that I would expect this liquidity to act as a magnet right now, but we start breaking down in a bigger way. I mean, 83,000, 82K, 83K. We do have the liquidity sitting there. Come on. I mean, worst case scenario. I don't know. Not that it would look like that, right? But, again, we don't know what this is going to look like. One thing I do want to show. I don't think I showed this today yet. I showed it on the premium Discord. One thing I will show, guys, is the similarities between this top and the top that we see right now. And hilariously enough, it is, literally, eerily, very, very eerily similar here. This is the 2021 all-time high. Top of the bull market. And again, it doesn't mean that this is going to be the top of the bull market. They need to redo the way that adjusts. But literally very, very similar here. Not just structurally, but also with the oscillators as well. Not only do you have the first high, the big scary drop, the move back to the upside, and you also have the weekly bearish divergence and the sweep of the high, the sweep of the previous all-time high. Literally almost the same exact thing. But again, I do think eventually we'll see the market change. I don't know. I don't know. All it takes is, the one thing you don't want to do is get super bearish for a bear market. Maybe it is the bear market. I'm not saying it is. But, you get in there and it's all of a sudden, oh, QE. Boom. Right? But the structure here is almost identical. You have the higher highs. You'll put up on the weekly time frame. Now let's just keep it like this, right? Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. Money flow comes out. Money flow coming out. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying it's the top. I'm just saying the structure is just eerily similar. I miss Rob. Shout out to Chief Ty Crypto. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, where is I guess Rob isn't here. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you, bro. We'll take a look at some of these altcoins. Thank you for that, Tyler. I appreciate you, brother. Ultimate bear trap getting set. Yeah. I do not. I want to be very clear. Just because I looked at that, I do think, and I'm not saying it's the bear market. I do not fall in that camp. Shout out to Crypto Owl, said the stochastic printed the same top as the bear market in 2021. Yikes. Shout out to Gen Z. Tyler, always working hard, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Tyler. Rob is at band practice. Let's go. Shout out to Rob. Let's get it. All right, let's take a look at INJ real quick. All right, let's see. INJ. Okay. Bada boom. Yeah. INJ at the value area high. Or was at the value area high. Again, if you look at the volume profiles, you will notice that things start to be less surprising. What do we have here? Push into the value area high, bearish divergences here on the daily. And to be honest, you probably have the signs lower time frame as well. Right? This, if you were looking for short positions, right? When it comes to the volume profiles, if you are new here, when it comes to volume profiles, this is the fair value for the asset. When price deviates below, this is looked at as cheap. This is where you want to look for longs. Everyone is panicking. You understand it's cheap. You're looking for longs. Once you get accepted back into the value area, you flip that value area low to support. That's where the next likely place for price to go is the POC. Once you flip that POC to support, the next stop for price is the value area high. This is where you look for shorts. First push into the high. You didn't have a bear div here on the 4-hour at the time, but you come back down, you deviate above, higher high on your price action, lower high on your momentum waves here on the 4-hour. That's where you look for a short, get back into the range. Next likely stop, POC. INJ to 1184, very likely. Start to lose this value POC, bigger drop down to the value area low at 754 could be in the cards, just like it was on the way up to the high. It could be on the way to the low when you're rejecting the high. Simply put. So there you go. Bada boom. Money flow coming out on the 4-hour as well. So, again, trend may be likely to continue to the downside. Lose the POC. Start that journey down to the POC. Potentially, right? If you're going to keep this larger uptrend continuing, let's pull that full fib from the low to the high. I would honestly prefer to come back down to the low. That's just where I prefer to look for longs. But you could look for your Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high for potential areas. To bounce, right? But again, it's not my favorite because if you do get a bounce there, that POC is right above you. If you reject that, you're probably going down to the low. But yeah, you could look for that to continue your higher lows, potentially. It's just hard within the volume profile. It's like I just always prefer the low. But you're very far away from that, right? But I would just say POC is probably the next stop. Could even pull this local profile at this point as well. Yeah, I'd be looking down here. And if you get a retracement, just understand if that 4-hour green dot prints, the retracement with money flow coming out would be more likely a lower high for a lower low to push into the next key level. Let's pull from this local impulse to the high. So yeah, I would watch this level between the POC golden pocket value area low, sitting between 12.18 and 11.13. Lose that, 7.86 sitting at about 10.28. But in simple terms, I would just look at this larger volume profile, to be quite honest. You also have the daily bear div, weekly red dot potentially looking to print. So, yeah, not impossible to get bigger retracements here. Very clear. We've been looking at these high time frame red dots to get bigger retracements for a few days now, maybe in a week or two. So just don't get scared, right? If you get the bigger retracements, like we already had big moves up, right? 145%. You could afford a little bit of a pullback there. So, yeah, there you go. Bing bong. Shout out to Cabanarama. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome in. Shout out to Adam. This is INJ. If you want to check out Bitcoin, just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. I covered everything that we're looking at on Bitcoin. It was the first one that we looked at. Let's see. Nice stream. Shout out to Solana Warrior. Welcome in, bro. Thank you for being here. What about Sol? How low can it go? Shout out to Spoidermon. Shout out to you, bro. Go, if you just scrub back, we took a look at Solana already. We went Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, virtuals. So just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. We went over all the levels on Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin. So, yeah. And then meet us back here in the real time. Let's see. I'll pick up some INJ on the dip. Shout out to MNS. I probably will as well. Shout out to Thomas Baker. How do we have a bear div with the monthly green dot printing? We do not have a monthly bear div as of right now, on Bitcoin at least. We have a monthly green dot printing if we confirm, right? We are going to confirm this. We're going to confirm this green dot. If it doesn't unprint, we will confirm it in the next day. And then if you get a green dot and then another red dot instantly, then you would have a little bit of a monthly bear div. But right now, you don't technically have a monthly bear div. You do from this high to this high, but we already put it in a new high. So, yeah, there's no monthly bear div just as of yet. Could be printing soon, though. Let's see. All right, let's continue on here. We took a look at INJ. Let's take a quick look at NEAR. Actually, I think I have a NEAR chart saved here. Bada boom. I don't think it's updated. This is an older chart. I think we do have a more updated one. We actually haven't taken a look at NEAR in a while. This is old. Whoops. Old. Okay, so I'll just look at this chart. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, weekly red dots. This is the thing that we've been looking at on the alts, right? These VWAPs have been rolling over for, honestly, a while, right? This has started to roll over all the way on the 19th. It's like, hey, once you get that weekly red dot, that's probably where we're going to get another drop on not only the altcoins, but also Bitcoin. So, again, not super shocking here, but I would say if that weekly red dot prints, I think near looks good for a new low. Not a new low as in break the this low, but break the local low. And let me just pull these up real quick. So I would actually be looking. I would look at this. Whoops. Yeah, I'm going to try to find the lower levels just because I do think if that weekly red dot prints, you're more likely to get a bigger move to the downside. I would say, let me actually pull up some MPOCs here really quickly. Let's pull up the daily. All right, so let me pull a fib from the low to the high. Yeah, I would say right about hither, you have a daily MPOC right here. Daily MPOC right here. So yeah, 786, 2 daily MPOCs. And then you do not have an MPOC there. Yeah, so these are the local levels I would look at on near. Locally, you would hope to hold this golden pocket. If you lose that golden pocket, 786 is next. But again, with that incoming weekly red dot, I don't know how bullish I would be in the medium to long term for this, to be honest. If you do come down and break the low, nice to know that you do have a weekly MPOC sitting right here. MPOC. Got 2 more weeklies down there. Let's check the monthly real quick. Yeah, you do have a monthly MPOC here as well. Whoops. It's nice to know. Monthly. So yeah, these would be like major levels I would watch. If you lose that 786, I'd be looking down like next key major level. See if we have confluence here on the macro golden pocket. 786, not even close. So I would just look at this monthly and weekly MPOC. I don't know. This could be tapped, right? It just might have not triggered on trading view. Like that MPOC might be tapped on the monthly. But you do have a weekly sitting down there as well, sitting at about $1.71. So if you do go down and break the low, I mean, hopefully you could just hold the golden pocket 786 zone here. But locally, I would say the golden pocket 786 sitting between about 241 all the way down to about 215. Confluence on the 2 daily naked points of controls. So these are your 2 major local levels. Lose that, I'm looking down here to between $1.84 to $1.69. Lose that, I'd be looking down. Again, I don't know if we're necessarily expecting that big of a drop, but it is nice to know that you do have 2 weekly MPOCs down here at $1.16. But locally, this is kind of what I would look at. You also have your local volume profile here, which is worth watching as well if you do come back up. Whoops. Boom, boom, boom. You can see here. Tried to get back in, rejected the POC. We're now losing this range. Your hope here, if you bounce off the golden pocket, you want to reclaim that value area low, get back into this range. But again, with the incoming weekly red dot, I would not be surprised if you get a bigger move down. These are the key levels I would look at on near. Yeah, 2-day money flow still not looking like horrific. This could come out, obviously, but still not looking horrific here. You know, still generally trending to the upside. But I would like to see that weekly red dot. That if we're going to get a bigger retracement, that weekly red dot is likely to do it. Let's see. BTC getting bouncy on the 5-minute. Let's go. Shout out to Objectively. Real reality objectively. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to CandleMafia. John Cena said 750 likes for 3 hat giveaways tonight. Smash that like button. 750 is the goal. We're giving away Cardano already. If you guys want free memberships and 3 Frankie Candles hats. Smash it up to 750. Let's go, baby. Shout out to Cryptic Aussie said Frankie has officially met the criteria to be classed as our Zeo. What is Zeo? Am I tripping? What the heck is Zeo? Zeo. Run it up, baby. Let's go. When Gaming Channel. Shout out to PSP Gaming. I don't know if I would have the best gaming channel. I'm a much better trader and technical analyst than I am a gamer. I am the most casual of casual gamers. I like to run and gun mindlessly. But yeah, that would be fire. That would be fire. My game is trading. That is my video game. I need another hat. Shout out to Nick Dunn. Is Sui dead? No, I wouldn't think Sui's dead. At least like long term. Maybe it's ready for a bigger pullback potentially. Do I expect a fake out during the weekend? I'll be 100% transparent here. Weekends have been very weird lately, to be honest. Maybe you get a fake out on the weekend. I don't know. It used to be like weekends were super low volume, but I don't know. Recently, over the past like couple of months, we've seen like pretty exciting weekends, to be quite honest. So yeah, I mean, could you get here's the thing, right? A weekend fake out is not, in my opinion, going to just like invalidate the weekly incoming red dot or invalidate the weekly bear div. Like, could you get a pump over the weekend? Maybe. But again, unless that 4-hour money flow comes back into the green, I would be anticipating. I mean, and here's the other thing too. I may even after I'm not right this second, but I may re-enter my long position here. I got stopped out of a small scalp, super low risk. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we're gonna get a bounce, this is our key zone of support, guys. This is what we've been waiting for days, right? Looking for the lower looking for the lower lows, lower highs, and the lower lows into our key zone of support. You hold that 786. That's where you would hope to get the bounce from. But again, with money flow, I would still be anticipating lower highs and lower lows over the medium term, right? It's not until we start coming back up, reclaiming key levels, and then money flow fakes back out into the green that I would expect that to play out in a big way. But we are at key support. You can bounce here. I just don't know how long-lived it's going to be, right, with those higher time frame bearish signals. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hats for the like police. Shout out to K Diggity. We're gonna put red and green lights. We'll put red and green. He's not the Christmas police. Red and blue lights on. Shout out to Jesse. Jesse, if you ever order a hat or win a hat, we're gonna have Tony D implant red and blue lights on it because you are the like police. Tony D's about to come in chat and be like, don't threaten me with a good time. Because he will do that. I know he will. All right, let's see. Shout out to Jezza Degen. Shout out to you, bro. Said, hey, bro, how you doing? How you doing, Jezza? Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. All right, let's see here. Give Uncle Jesse a hat. Shout out to Donnie T. Come on, baby. Just ordered a bouncy house for the weekend. Shout out to Paul. I would love that. Shout out to Jesse. And we'll put a little siren, and the siren will go wee woo, super obnoxiously. I would love that. That would be hilarious. Yeah, Tony D with the eyeballs. Felix said, Frankie, do you ship to the UK? At Tony D. At Tony D. Okay, so we do have to get ready for the giveaways here. We'll see if Bitcoin can hold these levels here. Short still continuing to play out here. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Erica said I'm dead. Let's go. All right, so let's get into the giveaways here, guys. We are running out of time. And while they are doing that, I will jump into some Tau analysis that is last on our list here. I knew I had a Tau chart right here. All right, let's see here. Oh, yeah, membership giveaway. We get 750 likes. We will give away memberships as well. We don't have 750 likes, do we? It's been rough lately. Yeah, no, we're nowhere near it. Smash that like button, guys. 750 will drop memberships and 3 Frankie Candles hats. Send it to the upside. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Let's go. No, Tony D, we did not skip last week. We did it very fast. Right? If we were live, we went live last week, right? On Friday? Yeah, if we went live last week, then we did the giveaway. I remember. You might have to go check. I'm pretty sure we did it, though. Pump the like, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's continue on here. Shout out to Loki. Loki said Discord memberships or YouTube memberships. Loki, there'll be YouTube memberships. Next time we hit a significant like goal, maybe we'll do maybe we'll give away like, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like maybe we'll do Discord giveaways, like one Discord premium Discord giveaway. But maybe we'll run a sale. We'll have to figure out a good time to run a sale on the Discord. All right, let's take a look at Tau here real quick. Sick. I thought we were going to have a oh, I'm on the wrong chart, that's why. All right, let's see here. Almost a perfect rejection from that value area high. If I extend this over, there it is. Why am I extending it to the right? Well, we are just still within our area of balance. And you guys will start to notice a pattern here. April 7th, TVA below the low. Everything is scary. Get back into the range. POC is next. Flip the POC. Begin your journey up to the value area high. Come on over to the 4-hour time frame. Ooh, I was very confident. I'm not going to lie. I was very confident this would be a 4-hour bear div. Twas not. Actually, this was yeah, it was actually. Push into your value area high and again. Get above the low. POC is next. Get above that POC. Flip it to support. Journey into your value area high is next. Higher highs on your price action. Lower highs on your momentum waves. Not that I would just trade based off that one signal, but bear divs, bear signals at the high is where you look for shorts. Get back into the range. You actually went to test the high one more time almost, but you are continuing down. So I'll give you some local levels as well as the macro levels, right? The macro level here, if you continue down in a massive way, would be the $252 POC of the range. I don't know if you're going to make it all the way down there. Let me pull a fib. Whoops. From the low to the high. Okay, so I would watch this local value area below. It's going to be important. You have your value area low sitting right here, your POC, your value area high. Yeah, I mean, you're testing that value area high to the dollar right now. If you continue down, I would use this as your local guide to lower prices. Get below that value area high, sitting at $376.89. Get stuck under there. POC is next. Lose the POC. Go down to the value area low. Could look to kind of bing-bong around in there potentially, but if you get the bigger breakdown, I would say, let's pull it from the higher low. I'm going to pull it from the impulse here because, again, this was the impulse that started the break of this high. So these are key levels I would look at. Golden pocket, value area low confluence. That would be your local support. Man, no confluence on the 786, unfortunately. But these would be the next local levels I would look at. If you continue down, these are the major levels I would watch. Break down below the golden pocket. Lose that value area low. Could just continue that journey towards the POC. 786 sitting at 279. POC sitting at 252. Lose that POC. Looking down to 212 value area low. Again, I'm not necessarily expecting to fulfill the range here. It would be anticipated based off the laws of the volume profile. However, doesn't mean that you have to get down there, to be quite honest. So there we go. Buying more XRP if it comes under $2. I'm in at I'm in at 50 cents. I just think it's gonna be massive down the road. Buying more Ondo as well. Anything under 80 cents. Shout out to Michael S. I don't hate on any of that. I can't hate on any of that, bro. Yo, shout out to Flame. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here. Said, long time. I had an accident on a bike. I was in the hospital, and I lost mobility, and someone stole my USDT, all of it. Now recovering and reloading USDT. Shout out to Flame. Dude, that is crazy. How did you, how did they get your USDT? Was it something that, like, someone came in and actually robbed you of your, like, ledger? Or did you get hacked? What happened? Did you click a link? How did it happen, bro? Let us know. Hopefully you're feeling better, bro. I'm sorry to hear that you were in a biking accident. But hopefully you're doing well, bro. We're praying for you, man. Hopefully it wasn't too serious. But happy to see you in here. Shout out to Flame. We missed you, bro. We missed you. Shout out to Bomba said, yeah, man, how'd they steal it? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Fingerprint scam. What the heck is a fingerprint scam? Shout out to Flame. Everybody wants to know how they stole it. Oh, you lost your phone. Where did he see that? Shout out to Jezza. I didn't even see him say that. That's crazy. Dang, man, that's wild. That's wild. You got to be careful out there, guys. It's a lot of people have their lives on their phone. Oh, man, it's sketchy. Yeah, I had USDT. Shout out to Flame said I had USDT in Binance, and my mobile password pattern was very easy, and I lost during the accident. Shout out to Flame. That's wow, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. Sorry to hear that. That's crazy. Yeah, so I assume it was like an Android with like the boop, boop, boop kind of pattern to open it up. Man, I don't even like, I'll be honest, I don't even like, I don't even like the 4-digit password on an iPhone. I always use the bigger passwords. Crazy. Yo, shout out to Jessa, bro. He said, I lost my mobile, and I said mobility. I thought you were saying that you lost your mobility during the bike accident, but you lost your mobile phone. Gotcha. Shout out to Jezza. Thank you for clearing that up. Let's see. Crypto Aussie said, I always keep 3 phones connected to my eSIM. Shout out to Crypto Aussie said, save me many times. Interesting. Eat to 7,400. Shout out to Ian. I actually don't think that's unlikely. Not right this second, obviously, but I do think eventually when everything starts to rip again, that is one of the bigger targets. 7,400 would not be out of the cards in my own personal opinion, if I'm being honest, right? We'll pull up those Fibonacci extension levels. Bada boom, bada bing. Pull up the price prediction levels. 73,333. 73,33 is the top of like our first major Fibonacci zone. So I would say if we break the all-time high, right, break the all-time high at about 5K, a little under, I think that next place you get hung up is going to be sitting between 5,800 and 73.33. Could easily wick up into the $7,400 zone. Who knows? If it continues up, we break out of there. You could look for the bigger move up into your next level between $9,900 and $11,332. I don't know if you're guaranteed to get that move. We're obviously going to have to assess price action as it comes into that first extension level. But definitely not out of the cards. That is on the upper end of that first target. Shout out to Flame. Says... yeah, Android, and I started my trading with 500 USDT and lost, started with 500 and lost, does that say 30,000? Is there any way to track USDT address because I can see the transaction? Wait, so did you grow 500 to 30? Is that what that says? I can't see. It's kind of small. So yeah, I think it says, or maybe it says 3,000. So you turn 500 into 3,000 is kind of what it sounds like, if I'm reading that right. Dang. 500 to 3,000 is good, bro. Shout out to you. That's not a 3K. Yeah, that's not bad, bro. That's not bad. Yeah, be careful out there, guys. Tested and entered the bear flag. Now retracing. Y'all need to smash that like button. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. Smash that like button if you have not already. There's only 30 seconds left here in the live stream here, guys, because we are... Oh, wait, did we do the giveaways? Shout out to Tony D. Oh, no, giveaways are still... Are we still going with the giveaways? Or did he drop them already? Shout out to Flameshead. Anyways, now starting again, and it's like... And it's like I've lost the technique of trading after 2 months. Shout out to Flame. Hey, bro. Hey, it's like riding a bike. You just get back on the charts, get the feel for it again, and you'll be good. And tune into the live streams. Feel free to ask questions. And hopefully you win a giveaway here soon so we could give you some so we can get you some Cardano that you could then transfer to USDT and then start trading again. But shout out to Flame. Good to see you. And there are the winners for the giveaway. Let's go, baby. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to P-Dub, Cryptic Crabman, Nerd Crypto, Low-Key Feta, Open World Gamer, Justin, Sheesh, and Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown. We got some OGs in there. I love it. Congratulations to our giveaway winners. What caused the dump? Shout out to Nas. I mean, if you're asking me, I would just say, I would give you a technical reason, right, from the charts. And I would say that what caused the dump here was simply that we had money flow, right? Well, number one, the reason that we look for the short in the premium from the high here was just simply that we came up to a key target with a sweep of liquidity and bearish divergences. And then once we lost this previous all-time high and could not reclaim, it was a good sign that we were going to continue to the downside. And we were able to use money flow on Market Cipher B as a guide, letting us know that even over here, right, as money flow is trending to the downside, that as we got this bounce, it would be a lackluster bounce and a continuation down to a key target that we've been watching forever, ever since we put this high in, right? Looking at this key target, putting in the lower high and the lower low, using money flow as our guide. And so I would just say that, right? We had sweep of liquidity of the highs, loss of the failed auction of the previous all-time high, breakdown, bearish retest, money flow comes out, you look for the lower low, and now we're just sitting in our next key level of support. And now, because of the high time frame bearish confirmations that we've been looking at, or bearish signals that we've been looking at, I'm going to get rid of these blue boxes. And now that we have those higher time frame bearish signals, I think we could potentially continue down a little bit more if we don't hold these next these local levels. But if you missed everything, just scrub back to the beginning of the stream, and we give you all the sauce on Bitcoin, the key levels, my general thoughts on the market, the high time frame bearish signals, the key levels of support to the downside that we're looking at, and we take a look at the altcoins as well. So just go rewatch the stream, and let's see. How do I claim to get? Shout out to Low Key Feta. How do I claim the giveaway? Go to the free Discord and go to the Help Center. And you will be able to claim your prize there. Let's go. Shout out to all the winners. I appreciate everybody for being here. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I don't just say that because I'm on camera. I say it because I mean it. I love you guys. And I'll see you. Hopefully, if nothing crazy happens over the weekend. If so, I'll drop a little market update for you guys. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys on Monday. Same place, same time. Pray for Bitcoin, baby. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Shout out to Vegas Claw, bro. The Drake meme jokes. I don't know if that's like a normal thing. I just know they do it with Drake a lot. Like Drake's the kind of guy to go outside and go, "Ooh, it's cold." I don't know. There's a bunch of funny ones. But Vegas Claw says Frankie the type of guy to fart in the toilet and flush it. And that should be a felony to say. But shout out to Vegas Claw. I love you guys. With all that being said, I'm gonna go tell Mrs. Candles you said that, and she'll be cracking up. So I'll see you guys on Monday, same place, same time. You know the rest. Hasta pasta. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up.